Welcome back to the Georgia Highlander Hunting Podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Broom, and today I'm going to sit down with Nelson Chandler. Now, Nelson's going to give us a recap of his 2024 season. I hope you guys enjoy it. There's a lot to learn here. But, it's one place to the north of me. They started rutting probably 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
About the last podcast I did. And then where I live at now, probably the past couple of weeks, they've been pretty hot and heavy, and they're starting to cool off now.
24th?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that one I shot was the 13th.
Yeah.
January 13th.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He was running around checking scrapes with his tongue out, and just happened to get him over there where I was at.
Right. My bow performed pretty well.
It did. I didn't. Yeah, it put a hurting on him, but I took a 1.25 shot on that deer, and I shouldn't have. I rushed it. He come in there, and I'm in that saddle, with the tree tether like around your waist, like a lineman saddle.
Yep.
I was in that saddle, and you face the tree, and he come in under the scrape, and then he kind of started walking to my left, like in front of me. The tree was between me and him. Mm-hmm. So I drawed that bow back, and I put the bow to the left of me, waiting on him to come out. Well, he never showed up. I sat there probably 10 seconds with the bow drawn. He just disappeared.
Just didn't show up.
I kind of done this number. I leaned around the tree. Well, he's walking the other way. He turned and went back to the right. So I didn't. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't let the bow down, because he wouldn't have seen me. But I tried to take the bow, I had it drawn, and I picked it up over my tether rope and was watching him the whole time, and finally got it back down on the right side of the tree. Well, by then he's directly under me. I mean, I could spit on him, and I couldn't get the pin on him because my backpack was in the way. So I had to take and kind of shift like this and pick my elbow up. And when I did, he busted me. He looked right at me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
He didn't. Yeah, he just bounced off 2 or 3 times and stopped. And he went to flicking his tail, and you tell he was nervous. And at that point, I was rushing it. And I was trying to get a shot on him,
It was then or never.
Yeah, he gave me a 1.25. He was still kind of on edge. And the arrow went right where I was pointing it. But as soon as that bow went off, he ducked. He kind of ducked and leaned down, and it hit him high. Mm-hmm. So, and like I said, I had him on camera about 3 days later hitting the same scrape.
Yeah, he was.
I ain't seen him since. So.
He was already nervous when he shot. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was on edge. I should have waited, been more patient. But when I seen him, I thought, I'm gonna go ahead and kill him. Well, then he seen me. That had me all jacked up.
Your path had been right there beside you, because you was already on the tree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and that saddle's weird. Trying to shoot out of that thing, you can turn your feet, your hips, and you can hang off that thing sideways if you want. And for whatever reason, I've practiced shooting like that off my right side. Now, if you're right-handed, it's easier to shoot to the left.
Yeah.
Now, if right-handed shooting to the right, you can do it, but it's a little awkward. You got to move your body and your feet and stuff. Well, my feet never moved, and I was trying to twist and turn.
Yeah.
I just, in the moment, I forgot all that stuff.
Yeah. You just twisted up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at an awkward angle anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still running around. I'm going to try to catch up to him, but, if I don't kill nothing else, I'm still tickled. I got to draw back on one.
Oh, yeah. January in Alabama with a bow, that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You got on.
Yeah, it was a close shot, too. He was just, it was a gimme shot. I ranged it next time I climbed that tree a few days after that. It was like 14 yards. I mean, it just couldn't ask for a better shot, So I should have been more patient, waited on him to get broadside.
Yeah, but you're just afraid he's fixing to bolt out of there.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss the opportunity. I've missed plenty of opportunities.
I've waited long, and I wished I hadn't waited.
I've done that a lot. And I guess now that showed me I need to find in somewhere in the middle, be patient, but don't blow an opportunity either.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. You would think he would have just kept walking behind the tree like he was coming when you leaned to the left.
Well, when he came in, he was nose to the ground, and he was looking. But, the reason I know he was looking, I got a camera I got two cameras in that spot, and they're probably 250 yards apart, maybe 200 yards, and there's a big patch of real thick privet between them cameras where they bed at.
Mhm.
And so what I've got is just, they made a scrape on the south side of it, and I found it and put a camera on it. And then last year I had a mock scrape on the north side, and they picked up on it, went to using it. Well, they ripped the limb down.
Mhm.
So I moved my camera over there to a scrape they made last year. They hadn't worked this year, and put that camera there and doctored that scrape up, made a little spot, and I had him on that camera while I was in the tree to the north of me,
Mhm.
and it was like 8:30, something like that. And I thought, well, shoot, he's probably close enough he can hear me. It's
Yep.
windy. I mean, real windy at the morning, cold. I thought, well, he's probably close enough he can hear me. So I had a little bleat call, and I went to bleating with that bleat call. And I'd grunt in between, just made some noise for a few seconds. And I just sit there, and probably 10 minutes later, I heard a stick crack up under me. And it's real thick right there in front of me. I couldn't see what it was. I could see a body moving, and then I could see a rat coming. So I just went ahead and grabbed the bow. I mean, he come right to me.
Yeah, right there.
That's what he was. Yeah, that's what he was doing. He come in there with his nose on the ground. He was looking for them deer that he heard.
Right. Yeah.
But
Wow.
he won't fall for that again, probably.
Yeah. You had a good experience anyway, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah.
That was a good tracking experience too. That was the worst blood. I'm telling you, like pin drops.
Uh-huh.
And in the nastiest stuff, I was crawling for probably 3 hours in that stuff.
You didn't give up.
I didn't. I didn't give up until it started getting dark. Now I did come back and take a break, and I had my camera on my bow, my little GoPro camera. So I come back to the house and watch that, the video where I shot him on the computer where I could see it better.
Mhm.
And there I could tell I definitely hit him high, and I was worried it was like a muscle hit.
Yeah.
And
That's what it
I
was.
did that. Yeah, I done that, and I went back out, but I didn't give up on him till about dark, and then I went back the next day, and I looked, just grid searching in there, and I thought I'm gonna leave it alone because I'm gonna run all the deer out of here if I keep going back every day walking in that stuff. So, and then I had him on camera a few days later.
He's up walking around, so that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to hit one and not kill him, but at least he's all right.
I'd be better with that than knowing he's dead somewhere and didn't find him. Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. That, or you gut shoot him, you run off for half a mile, then die.
And then die, never know it. Yeah.
I mean, I got lucky. I could have very well gut shot him if he'd have stepped forward. I would have gut shot him. He just kind of ducked down. I hit him high.
What broadhead did you have?
This year, past 2 years, I've been shooting it's a 150 grain Magnus Stinger, and it's not the serrated blade. It's just a straight blade that you can sharpen. It's got the little bleeders on it. Yeah, it's just a single. Yeah, just a single blade, and it's got the little bleeders that you can change out. They're like razor blades, but it's a real heavy. They fly good to be so heavy. Like I can shoot at 40 yards with them.
They fly good.
And they hit hard too. They hit real hard.
Good and sharp. You get them. They stay sharp too. Yeah, they're sharp out of the.
Yeah, even if they don't, they're not hard to sharpen either. I mean, you just take a whetstone and give it a hit and lick, and it's good to go. But I didn't get no exit hole on that, and that was the thing. So I'll know that next time too, is try to aim for the exit hole.
Yeah, that's great. Because you would have had a lot better blood trail. Yeah.
Yeah, and I probably would have been able to tell more about the blood too, because it was. I give him like an hour and 10 minutes before I got down to where I shot him to try to find my arrow and look for blood, and it was so cold by then it done got kind of coagulated and sort of starting to dry. And you couldn't tell much about it. It was bright red, but you couldn't tell if it had bubbles in it or, it done got kind of crusty. Right. Real hard to track too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that. We've done that in Illinois. We tracked one. I made a pretty good shot on it, but I used a different broadhead I never used before. They didn't have they fly really good and they were sharp, but they didn't have a real sweet back angle. They were too straight across. Yeah. And that penetration. And it was bleeding reasonably well to start with, and then it just died. And we tracked from like 10 o'clock that morning till almost dark before we did find it. But it was long, and just kept circling. I mean, we was almost back to where I shot it eventually.
Really?
Yeah,
I,
we would give
I
up.
wondered.
We would
Yeah.
literally give up and then find another speck of blood. Say, well, let's go a little further, and then
Yep.
find some more. Just kept going. Yeah. It was very
Yeah.
war. I'll never use those broadheads again. I won't tell you what they are, but they,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you. It had me question those ones I got. I mean, if I'd put it in the right spot, that'd have been totally different. It's just, that was
yeah,
my fault. It wasn't the broadhead's fault. But yeah, yeah, that thing, and that did, he was quartered to so hard. I think I hit him in the back hip, like the waist side hip.
hmm
Because when I hit him, like I knew immediately when I hit him, I hit the bone because
yeah,
it was just like a dead stop, like a thump. I mean,
yeah.
I heard the body, but then I heard a thump.
hmm
And when he ran off, I could see probably 10 inches of that air sticking out.
hmm
I'm like, yeah, that's not a great angle at all,
You knew it right.
I was worried about it from the get go.
hmm Yeah, yeah. I saw the video the best I could tell just by looking at it on the phone.
Hmm.
Looked pretty good on the phone.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, enough talking about my deers. I ain't put one on the ground yet. You put what, 3 on the ground?
Yeah, I put three really good bucks on the ground and a couple of does in the early season. I got to where I just don't shoot many does anymore. Um,
Yeah.
I'll shoot one on early season, but if I shoot one on a certain property, I'll move off of there and I won't shoot another on that property. I found out that the does are just, I mean, there's a lot of them. I know they need to be harvested. I know all about the management and stuff, but places I hunt, I like to keep them there. And once they're there, and they're just bringing more bucks. And
Hmm.
I didn't
That's right.
know, I probably could kill more, but I kill one, then I'll move on to another piece of property and try to kill another one, rather than just killing 3 or 4 or 5 on one piece of property.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, a lot of people say I need to kill more, but I don't know. I like to
Yeah.
watch chase them, so I don't want to kill
Yeah, I do too.
them.
I
Oh,
don't. I
years.
can't tell you last time I killed a doe, just for that reason. Because if I do kill one, I'm like, that's one less doe that's gonna have these bucks in here come rut.
That could have been the one doe that brought that buck in. That's what I
Yep,
think. And
me too.
I'll kill one in the early season just because it's good. I want to kill something. We've been waiting all summer, so I kill one, and then I'll kill another one, and then pretty much then I'm locked in on buck season then. But I had a real good year, as a matter of fact. It started off kind of rough. Couldn't find any acorns. Went to every piece of property I have, and even on some public. Found a few, but not like a lot. So it was very discouraging there, and I don't know how to set up an early season without hunting over some kind of food. And I
Yeah.
finally found some a little bit, and I hunted it the opening day, and I saw a doe and 2 fawns, and then it just went kind of cold till nothing much going on at all on into October, and I wound
Hmm.
up killing late September. I think the last week of September, I killed a doe on some acorns, and then another doe in early October on some acorns, and then I kept bow hunting on till opening day of gun season. And I even checked in the white oaks then in October, and they were just kind of sparse too. But it's just that kind of year, I guess. But turned out great in the long run.
Yeah. That first one you killed him. What, the end of October, 1st of November? Pretty early, wasn't it?
October 25th, I went. There's some piece of property I got. It's kind of a creek running through it and a ridge and some fields, kind of swampy in the back. And I went in there on a Wednesday evening late, like 5:30, 6 o'clock after work, and
Hmm.
pulled through the gate. When you pull through this gate, you can see one of the fields, and the back piece of it, I saw 4 bucks together on October 23rd, and all of them
Oh,
were. And I just put the truck in reverse and backed out. I didn't even go.
yeah.
And so I went back on that Friday, October 25th in the evening. And it was probably 80 degrees. It was about as hot as you can get. And I thought, this is crazy. They're not going to come back out here again. So
Hmm.
I got right on the edge of that field, in the edge of the swamp. Right at dark, sure enough, all four of them come walking right up toward the edge of that field like they did that Wednesday. I picked the biggest one out and shot him, and that was during the gun season. Gun season been open about a week, and got him out of there. He had to drag him out of that mud and swampy water with mosquitoes and spider webs and all. So
I bet that was a trip.
it was a trip. He was a good buck. Yeah, he was. He was a real good buck. Real heavy. I think he's about 4 years old. Had a lot of mass. The tines wasn't real tall. All of them looked just about alike. All four of them. I think that was the second deer that come out that I shot, and I didn't see any does, any other deer, or anything. Just them four deer together in October.
Yeah.
So I don't.
That is kind of odd. That
Yeah,
late in October.
October 25th, sure was. And then I started hunting hard. Then in November, when we got in around Halloween in November, and I was seeing some chasing in early November. Small bucks, 4-pointer, 6-pointers, 8-pointer, small 8-pointer. And around, I don't know, we talked about it before, but I keep that journal, kind of the history of, where they are. And November the 10th, I went back to where I normally hunt, right around the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And I saw a couple of does and some small bucks. I did not see a shooter buck. That's the first time in 2 or 3 years on November, right around that 10th, 11th, 12th that I didn't. And then I did the same thing November 20th. I've killed a buck like 3 years in a row on November the 19th, 20th, or 21st. And I went to that exact spot and I saw tons of deer, but no shooter buck. So I pulled out, and went back to the mountainside on Thanksgiving, and got all the way to the top Thanksgiving morning. And about 8 o'clock that morning, a nice buck come walking up the mountain, the steepest part, as a matter of fact, completely what I thought would happen. And I shot about 40 yards. He just, fell right there. So it's a pretty good buck too.
Yeah.
But, it was pretty challenging there with no acorns much.
Mm-hmm. Did you get one late season too? I know you mentioned that on the last podcast. You wanted to try to kill one late season.
I guess you could call it late. It's not late for where you are, but December. I killed the one in October, and then the one November 28th. I think that was Thanksgiving Day. December rolled around, and management hunt opened up. I didn't have one, and that would be the management hunt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember now. That was pretty late this year. That's probably the 12th, something like that.
It was the 12th that I killed that one because that hunt's usually the first part of December, I thought. But
it is. It's usually a real good. I mean,
it's a good hunt.
Real good time frame. Yeah.
I started
late this year.
Yeah, I started scouting it like crazy, looking for anything I could find, and I found a lot of sign, and of course a lot of sign of people too.
Yeah.
And finally found a spot that joined some private land right on the line. I had permission on the private land, and then I was sitting with my back against the yellow signs.
Yeah.
I went in there that morning, did not see a deer, zero, no doe, no nothing. And I went back that afternoon. I said maybe it's an evening spot because I found not a lot of rubs, but a few.
Mm-hmm.
And I set up that evening, and a good while, about 5:15, 5:20, it was still daylight, pretty good daylight. He come walking, kind of walking north to south on the mountain, right below me. And I shot him. He was pretty good deer. I think they said he was a 4-year-old. I checked him out.
Yeah, that's unusual that they say anything's 4.5 on them hunts. They usually try to age them a little young, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think they said 3.5 to 4. I remember. Yeah, but I got him out. That was December the 12th, and that was in. I barely made it. It took me a while to get him out. I barely made it to when they closed like at 8, and and I think it was like 10 or 8 when I pulled. They were fixing to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I went.
On them management hunts or any of those mountain hunts, I know you got some property you can hunt the mountain during the rut. Are you setting all day, like as much as you can? I know you mentioned coming out and coming back.
Very rarely. I don't. It would be a good idea to sit all day, but
Yeah,
I s- I'll sit to 11:30,
yeah,
and then either go back to the truck, eat, take a quick nap, stretch, and I'll go back about 3.
yeah.
Or that day I left and came home and
Hmm.
fooled around a little bit, and then went back,
Yeah.
and
It's
it
hard
worked
for
out.
me to sit all day too.
You really
I
sit all.
probably should, but it's tough, you know.
Yeah, a lot of deer are killed by people, plus sitting all day. But
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
was pretty much that's the 3 bucks I killed. All 3 of them were really, really pretty good bucks. And then
Hmm.
I put the rifle away after that, started bow hunting, and said, well, I'm going to kill some does on different properties. And that never happened. I had does come in, never could get a shot. And then um, I had a decent buck. He wasn't a shooter, but it's a pretty good buck come under me with my bow because I didn't have a buck tag.
Yeah.
But come under the tree, fooled around a little bit, and he was pretty decent. Real, not no mass to him at all, but kind of tall. And it was weird because I just killed that one on the management and on December 12th, and I had gutted him and everything, and rubbed up against his tarsal glands and all that. And I didn't. I just put my pants down in the bag. I didn't do anything else with them. I put them back on,
Hmm.
and that's when that buck come. I'm thinking he was acting crazy, and I'm thinking he was smelling what was on me.
He might have been.
And
That's a good possibility.
yeah, because he was just walking around like hunting, and then just circling the tree, just like looking for. And I could. So I know he was smelling it, but then a few minutes it got dark, and I basically climbed down, and I thought he was gone, and then I heard him blow when I hit the ground and ran off.
Yeah.
And then I
He
started.
probably smelled some ground scent. Were you climbing the tree or were you walking around or something? I bet you.
I bow hunted pretty hard around Christmas and uh, into January a little bit, but it was a great season. I wound up with 2 does and 3 bucks. So, and
Yeah.
all 3 bucks I was proud of. So,
Yeah. You can't ask for nothing more than that. That's a really
yeah,
good season.
let's see, 2 bucks were killed in the afternoons and one in the morning.
Yeah.
So I guess I killed one in October, one in November, and December.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, I was
pretty.
going to say you were killing them pretty spread out. I remember the first one was real early. I was surprised that when you sent me the picture, it was a mature looking buck. Like you said,
Yeah,
heavy rack. That you killed him that early on
yeah.
food,
I was
and then
surprised.
I expect you to kill one in the rut. I mean, I thought
Yeah,
Nelson's got to kill one in the rut. But then you killed one later too on that management hunt.
yeah. He was. They was two fawns. I guess you call them fawns, yearlings, fawns, whatever. But they were in the
Hmm.
area there. I forgot to tell you that. When I got there, they were kind of browsing around. I guess he come in looking for one of those because he was stained up pretty good.
Yeah, he
And
may have.
it was December the 12th, and he was in rut then.
Mm-hmm.
It is here. The rut's kind of spread out. So
Yeah, I didn't hunt that mountain this year late in the season. I hunted it. Last time I hunted was probably like I think the first week of November,
right,
right before the rut. They were just starting to. When I went, they were. I had some cameras out, and they were hitting scrapes pretty heavy. A lot of younger bucks. There was a couple of good deer, like 3.5, 4.5 year old deer.
uh-huh.
But the only thing I was seeing was like you said was like on the 10th when you mentioned November the 10th that spot. I was
Yeah,
just seeing young bucks like hanging around does and acting goofy. And I
hmm
saw one doe that was in heat with her tail out, and tried to stay on her the few days I was up there. And I never seen a good buck with her. They just like they weren't interested yet.
yeah. Well,
Um,
that
the
was
past, yeah,
that.
that was up there, yeah, on the mountain.
Yeah,
The past couple of years that I did hunt late in the season, I've seen a good one, a really good buck. Like the last, archery, it closes on like January 1st usually on that mountain. And I've seen a good buck either the week after Christmas or the last day of the season. I
hmm
actually shot at one in 22. It was a long shot. It was a poke, like 58 yards, but that's what he was doing. He was with, huh?
you killed one in December up there. I remember you sending me picture of it
Yeah, I killed
somewhere.
one. Yeah, that one over here I killed December the 3rd or December the
Yeah,
5th. It was just right after the rut, and then this one back behind me, he was November the 30th. And that's the one I killed with that bow that I bought from you.
yeah,
But late in the season, I've had good luck staying on those young does, like
yeah.
those little 50-pound, just little bitty deer that most
Hmm.
people probably wouldn't shoot.
Hmm.
Those big mature bucks are after them.
Right. Yeah, they
Right
are.
at Christmas first week.
Yeah. The deer I killed in November on the private land, he was just totally by himself,
Hmm.
just by himself. And then the one I killed, of course, in October with all those other bucks.
Yeah,
And then the one in December was falling behind those two young does. So,
yeah,
but I didn't understand why those bucks in October were still running together. It's almost like there was a bachelor group.
yeah,
Already had shed velvet in October 23rd when I saw them. And that goes to show, these people, a lot of people chase the cameras a lot, which I used to, but I got cameras all over that place and
hmm
got a picture of any of those 4 bucks.
yeah, yeah.
None.
I was going to ask you a couple of things about that and get your opinion on the first one you killed. Because I kind of got my own opinion on it too. Because it was here at least last probably maybe June, maybe before then, from about the end of turkey season until way into the fall. We had basically zero rain here, and I
Yeah.
think that's what got the acorns in this part of the country because it like water oak acorns. You see them things everywhere.
Yeah.
There's not even hardly a water oak acorn here. I
Mm.
did find one white oak on a piece of public that was north of me that had a lot of cutovers and stuff, but it was a great big, huge white oak, a really old white oak, and it was kind of in a little, just a wet spot between two cutovers
Yeah.
and like a ditch. And I hunted it and seen 4 or 5 deer every time I hunted there until they ate all the acorns.
Uh-huh.
But I've been having to hunt basically just green and
Yeah.
browse and stuff like that because it's hard to pinpoint what they're eating right now
Yeah.
with
It's
no acorns.
or unless, on some private land, I got some food sources, to hunt in the evening. I normally, when December rolls around, I normally just abandon the mornings altogether and just start evening hunting. But I hunt some mornings in December on up toward the middle, and I saw deer um, pretty much every time I went. It was a good year for me to see deer. I saw a lot of deer, and I just never could get a concentrated feeding sign. You know, like
Yeah, it
this is
was.
they're just I see them in the distance.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but
it was tough. I had a hard time when I only hunted. I think I took 2 trips to Georgia this year,
uh
um, and I hunted early. I remember talking to you. I was hunting chestnut oaks early and
uh
red oaks. There was some scarlet oaks and some red oaks I found, and some chestnut oaks. But same thing. It was like you couldn't get within bow range of them. You know what I mean? It was
yeah,
just
they're
luck of
just
the draw. Yeah, I'd get 75 yards from them or something like that and see them. And then when I went back right before the rut, I was hoping they'd be hitting scrapes and really like running edges and stuff like that,
uh
getting ready for the rut. There wasn't much action, but the food by like the first week of November when I went back
yeah,
was scarce. I mean, the only thing they were eating was like green grass, you know.
right. uh
But I was going to get your opinion on that. What do you think caused that down year with the acorns?
Oh, every once in a while we have that. Uh, I don't have an answer as to why. Uh, Sometimes, a lot of times during the drought, they drop acorns earlier. Like the white oaks usually come in around October here, and sometimes they'll drop in September because of the drought. But I don't know if we had a, I don't remember if we had a late freeze in April or not. Or we did have a few red oaks. I did find some of those, but not, they wasn't just like an abundance,
No,
you
no.
know.
I did notice that too. Now that you mentioned that with the white oaks, I was still running cameras trying to get some spots panned out for early season. I had some vacation time to burn, so I knew I was going to hunt sometime in that September, early October time frame. And I remember running cameras like late August, and I found white oaks that
Mhm.
were they weren't dropping, but they were loose enough they were getting blowed out of the trees, like a lot
Yeah,
of them, and they were
yeah.
eating them.
The tree
I
just
thought,
turned
okay,
loose.
yeah, I thought, okay, this is good. So I come back in a month, we ought to be primed out and have some really good white oak, a
Mm-hmm.
real good white oak crop right here. It just wasn't that way. You know what
No,
I mean?
no. I checked the white oaks that I hunt. I hunted them on the opening day of the rifle season, probably the last 3 years in a row. And I went in and checked them this year. They was a few scattered. I went ahead and hunted it anyway on the opening day of rifle season, but I did not see a deer. And
Really?
I normally don't do that. If I hunt a place and it ain't got really good sign, I just won't hunt it.
Hmm.
But I did anyway because it was opening day. But
Yeah.
I went back on that Sunday morning, and I didn't have much time because of church. And
Mm.
I climbed that same tree. So I'm gonna give it another shot because there was some rubs in there, and didn't see anything. I climbed down early, put the stand on my back, was walking out. I hadn't walked 60 yards and jumped up a pretty good buck that it was late, just bedded down the hardwood ridge, and he just
Yeah.
took off. And he was there. I don't know how long he'd been laying there. I was 70 yards from him probably. Never saw him till I started walking.
Yeah.
So I started scouting those woods out real heavy, and then wound up hunting a couple more times. I did pice up a pretty good buck in there that came in early November. He was looking for does,
Yeah.
and I started to shoot him. It was real close. He was borderline. It was a perfect shot too. He was right there.
Yeah.
Early November, and I'd already killed that one in October, and I said, well, I can do better.
Yeah.
When it went on, then I regretted it there for a while, but he was pretty good buck. Didn't have a lot of mass, but he was real tall and wide. So
Yeah.
and let him go. So next year we should have pretty good acorn crop next year. Usually when you have a failure, now some
Mm.
people say they had a great acorn crop this year.
Really?
It depends on where it is, I guess. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
I kind of noticed that too. There's usually, the red oaks and stuff like that. Anywhere there's a good draw or a good ditch, you see a good concentration of, like the slick bark red oaks, the black bark.
yeah,
I think they're northern reds is what they're called. But those drop every other year.
yeah,
They're like a biannual acorn. So I could see that next year's probably going to be a real good year, or at
yeah,
least good enough that you'll be able to hunt some
yeah.
spots.
Yeah, we may have so many next year that we don't have a. Usually, if you have an acre year that's a failure,
Hmm.
complete failure, you can find one tree somewhere that has acorns on it and drop it. And if you
Yeah.
find that's the gold mine there. That's the best scenario when you have a failure, but one tree's dropping.
Yeah.
I couldn't find that one tree this year, but like I say, wound up killing 3 good bucks. The one that I killed in October, those 4, it's an old field, but there's some ryegrass. Now, not rye, but ryegrass, the one that the biologists tell you the deer won't eat and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not the best food, but that's what they were eating that afternoon when I saw them.
That's
And
about the same thing I've seen too. They're eating whatever they can get.
it
They're
act,
not being picky this year.
it acted almost like a food plot
Yep.
because I was right. I got back in. I wasn't even in a tree. I wedged up against a big oak tree, and it was hid real well. And I
Hmm.
could down in the swamp, and I seen them coming through that swamp, and
Yeah.
it was hot. I mean, it was hot weather, and they was coming up there to feed on that ryegrass. There was nothing else.
Were they staying in that swamp when it was hot weather like that?
I think so. Yeah, because I had cameras on the hardwood ridge and
Hmm.
other field. I really hadn't. That property lays funny. I usually hunt the south end of the property.
Yeah.
It's usually much up there because that old swamp just don't have anything.
Yeah.
And I hunted it. When I saw those, I wound up going up there. But those deer, I never got them on trail camera. The whole,
Yeah.
and I left the camera after that in great spot. I even had a trophy rock running in the summer. Got does and small bucks and a couple of other bucks, but none of them was on there. So
Yeah.
that goes to show you, you can't just 100% rely on a trail camera.
No, you can't. That's something I've been trying to get away from this year. Just not
Mhm.
really because I got anything against it. I mean, I love trail cameras. I love running them.
Yeah.
But here, I'm not comfortable enough with this public property here to leave $100 camera somewhere. And I don't know anybody. So
No,
I've
I
had,
wouldn't.
yeah,
No.
we had me and Dad ran some on pigeon. Uh, like we started in June, I think, mid June or maybe 1st of July. We hung some out. And we hung out 9 cameras in one area that we're real familiar with hunting. We've been hunting for several years. And of those 9 cameras, 3 of them were stole. He had 2 stole,
Really?
and I had 1 stole. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that, and I've had a good time not using the cameras,
Yeah.
and just more
I've
or
got
less scouting my way in.
I've got another place in Chattooga County that I got to hunt this year for the first time for deer,
Yeah.
and I didn't put a single camera on it. I saw a lot of does. I hunted it 7 or 8 times, and I saw a lot of does and small bucks. I have not put a camera there at all.
Yeah.
But I think we're just reading the sign, you know, the rubs that are in there, there's a big buck in there. And
Yeah.
sometimes rubs, the big rubs are good, but if you see a rub that's just real aggressive, like, I mean, the bark is just
Mhm.
off,
Yeah.
that's usually a pretty good buck.
Yeah. He's usually got some bases to him.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah,
that.
even if the tree's big or small. But
Yeah. I sent you a picture of some from, there's one place in Bibb County that I was going. It's a little north of me.
mhm.
If you ever get you a late season, or if you still want to hunt like January, February time, and you end up coming down here with a tag, I'll take you over there because it's a real good spot. And there's some,
Okay.
they killed 140 something inch on this last rifle hunt up there,
Wow.
big 9-pointer. Yeah.
Yeah.
But those pictures I sent you, I never hung a single camera in there,
Yeah.
and didn't, with the sign I was seeing, there's no need in me running a camera other than curiosity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I picked it out on a map, and I drove the property like the weekend before, and I looked at it. I said, okay, I can get off the road and get away from folks in this little holler here. It's kind of just a hardwood bottom that ran between all these cutovers,
Huh?
and so that's what I did. I went back and scouted my way in the dark, and found my first scrape, probably maybe half a mile from the road. It was a little basketball-sized scrape,
Mhm.
and it was, probably a week old. It wasn't
Yeah.
nothing super fresh, but it was in a real good travel spot. It was like these little ditches that come off of the cutovers off the ridges. It was dropping down in that bottom and almost like a little saddle.
Mhm.
And I said, okay. And I thought, well, I'm going to keep going because I got plenty of time, and let's see if I can find something better. If not, I'll turn around and come back.
Mhm.
And I walked probably another 250, 300 yards, found another one like that, a little bit more fresh, but still, not like sign right then you want to hunt. And then I kept going. And finally, I got about a mile off the road, and I got between one pine plantation that was probably 12, 15 foot tall pines, and you could walk through them, but it was still real thick, full of briars and stuff. And on
Mhm.
the other ridge, it was a pretty new cutover, probably 2 years old, like 6, 8 foot tall pine trees and brush, just nasty stuff.
Mhm.
And I got right there between them, and it was real steep, and I found a bigger scrape that had some poop in it and had some fresh tracks and stuff. I said, okay, I'm gonna hunt right here. So hunted there, didn't see anything till probably, well, matter of fact, I didn't see anything at all. I sat there till like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I finally grunted because I thought, well, they're making scrapes. These deer, they might respond to a grunt. They might be getting fired up. And as soon as I put the grunt call down, I heard grunting to the south of me, just out of sight, kind of around the bend of the ridges, and it started coming to me. And at first I thought it was somebody with a grunt call.
Yeah.
Well, then I could hear walking when it got close to me, and I thought it's a buck. So I turned around on the tree and got my rifle situated, and I'd set up on purpose for the sun to kind of come up over my back. That way, if something was down below me where the scrape was at, they wouldn't see me, or they'd have a hard time seeing me.
Right.
I didn't get to the crest of the ridge, right on the edge of the cutover. I'm probably 35, 40 yards off the side of it, and well, this sucker comes in there right on the edge of the cutover, and he stops right where I can't see. And he's up there, and I could hear him, cracking limbs and making a bunch of racket and stuff. And I'm sitting there with my rifle, and I'm trying to see horns or see anything, any kind of movement. Can't see nothing. And he stays up there for a while, just kind of scratching around and breaking stuff. And he grunted a couple of times, and I thought, wow. Well, finally the wind sort of hit the ridges the right way, and my wind swirled up there to him. He was gone.
Mm.
So I walked up there after I got ready to leave, and he made a scrape, and he just tore up a little red oak sapling, broke some pine limbs.
Mhm.
He was fired up. So I went back probably think 3 weeks later, 2.5, 3 weeks later on the next rifle hunt, and I carried one of my daughters with me.
Yeah.
She was wanting to go, and went nearly to the same exact spot where he went. There was actually an access road coming in off one of them ridges. It was a lot easier to walk than where I'd came in the first time. So I carried her down it, and we had a good south wind where we could get in there without anything smelling us. And sat her down on a rock. Should have sat on the edge of the cutover where I could see the old skidder road.
Yeah.
Told myself that, if I went back, I wasn't sitting off the side of the ridge. I was going to get right on the edge of the pines where I could see where he was traveling, because he had good sign up there. Well, I didn't. I had her with me.
Yeah.
I took her off the side of the ridge, probably 15 yards to a big rock where she had plenty of cover. She'd sit still, and I scratched the leaves out, kind of make it dirt where she could be quiet. And when I done that, we sat down. She was putting one of my jackets on, trying to get warm, and I was digging through my backpack, and a deer blowed at us, just right behind me.
Uh-huh.
And it sounded like a small deer, just a real shrill, short blow.
Yeah.
And I didn't think much of it, because we just sat down. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon. And I kind of looked over my shoulder, and I see this big tail.
Wow.
Man, that's a big old doe. And then can't really make out what the deer is. I can see the outline of a deer's body, big body. And I'm like, just about to reach and grab my rifle. He takes about 3 hops off, and it's probably well in the 130s.
Wow. Big buck.
Rack, yeah. Big chocolate rack buck, yeah. And at that point, it was too late. I couldn't get no shot on him. But he come right to us.
And when was this?
This was December the 12th or 13th.
Okay.
So just as the reg books down here, they tell you like what counties when they rut.
Mm-hmm.
It was exactly when they say that county ruts, like second
Right.
week of December. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he, I don't know. I think he came in there. He heard us scratching around. We got in real quiet. She did a real good job of just being focused and being quiet, and
Yeah.
she was into it, we didn't carry any kind of games or nothing like that. We just went hunting. We were just scouting our way in hunting.
Yeah.
Trying to teach her some stuff,
Well, you had an encounter with a good buck, so.
Yeah. And probably after the season, I didn't want to run cameras up there during the season, even though I would like to hunt up there more and really get a better look at that buck. But I think after the season, I may go back and run some cameras at least till turkey season. See if I can't get him. If he survived, I'll hunt him next year.
Right.
He was a really good buck.
Yeah, I got some winter projects. Usually every year when the season ends, I'll take about a week off, and then I'll start kind of figuring out what I can do different, or what I did wrong, what I did right, and add some things. I'm gonna do a few things different. There's one place I got to stand on some private property. It just ain't tall enough. I got to get a taller stand on it where I can see better. And I want to trail access. I've got to make some better trails to get in the mountain on the top. I struggled getting to the top, and I should have went back and hunted again, but I couldn't get in there hardly. So I'm going to try to make a better way to get there.
Yeah, pretty rough getting up there, that way up high on the mountain.
I'm going to have some more food on the private property. I'm going to have some more food for late season. I don't have enough late season food.
Yeah, you mentioned that. That's something I want to do next year. I meant to ask you this the other day about, because you got permission on a lot of private properties, like different sizes, and I know you said you'll lose 1 or 2 a year, then you'll get 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, I've got 4 or 5 now, but I expect to lose 1 before the summer's over, so that'll leave me 4. I'm trying to find another one. I'm on the internet, on the maps, looking at properties and asking permission, getting denied probably 95% of the time.
Yeah.
But there's always that one little slight chance.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, if there was any trick to that. If somebody's wanting to get into it, because I'm wanting to try to find something next year here. Somewhere I can go after work that's not going to take me 2 hours to get out there to a tree.
I've wrote letters before, like handwritten letters, like find who on a piece of property that you want to go on, look on the map and find it, and sit down and write a letter. I don't type the letter; I handwrite it.
Yeah,
and tell them who I am, give them a little background, what my goals are, and all that stuff. If they would consider allowing permission to bow hunt, or gun hunt, or turkey hunt, or all 3.
Yeah.
Some of them will let you turkey hunt, they won't let you deer hunt. So you've got one access there. Some
Yeah.
will let you bow hunt, but won't let you gun. There's another one. And some people don't care. And then some people, I sent out about 15 letters, and you'll get about 4 responses back, maybe 3 or
Okay.
4.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I could probably swing that. Um, well, either way, like you said, if they give you permission to turkey hunt, at least you got your foot in the door. You
You
know, they
got
may
your foot.
change their mind later, or they
That's
might tell you to go on somewhere in a couple of years. You never know. Like,
no, and that's what I did on one of the properties. Now I got to turkey hunt it for a couple of years, and then gradually worked into deer hunting. Once they get to know
yeah,
you, and
yeah.
a lot of people will let you bow hunt that won't let you gun hunt. You know,
Hmm. Well, that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to find some bow hunting spots like here in town where we
yeah,
live at, because
yeah,
man, I'm telling you, I see a lot of good deer in town, and
yeah.
nobody's hunting them.
And nobody's hunting them. If you can get
No.
permission, hear how small it is: 3 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres. Uh, and a lot of people will. You'll get on those letters. You'll get some nasty replies. I mean, they'll tell you how dare you ask and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
then some people will say no, which is fine. That's theirs. And then some people say yes. And the ones that say yes, I mean, if you send out 15 letters and you get one yes, you've gained, one piece of property that you didn't have.
yeah,
We used
yeah.
to
You
didn't have
get,
to
gotta,
come to the point now, you know, that you, by permission, you got to just work at it constantly.
yeah,
And that's what I'll
yeah,
do all winter, working and looking and see what happens. And
yeah.
mhm.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna definitely try that because I don't want to get into the whole hunting club thing. To me, I know a lot of people have good success and they have a good time with it with the hunting clubs, but I just don't feel like that's for me. That sounds like a nightmare. Having to go to the same stand every time and having to fight with everybody's
Yeah,
egos and emotions. I'd rather just, you know, at
yeah,
least what I'm wanting to do is get some small properties, or at least anything really. I'm not even picky about it. Something where I've got a little flexibility to run some feed,
hmm,
and then maybe some little kiddie pools, make some water sources, and kind of like draw the deer in. But
yeah.
I just wanting to find something that,
And
if
if
I
you,
take a notion at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I want to go hunting.
yeah,
I can go hunting without spending 2 hours trying to get there.
yeah, you want something quick that you can go quick and back. And
Yeah.
also, you get those small wood lots, to bow hunt, the small ones,
Hmm.
5, 10 acres, 3 acres. The deer, you can get on them pretty quick. Now you can overhunt them pretty quick, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't have that much woods. But it's a
Hmm.
lot easier to narrow down what you want to get in five
Yeah.
acre 50.
You could really like fine tune your access. I mean, once you get something like that,
Mhm.
you can set and figure a good access, or running cameras on it. Maybe the first year you can figure out when you need to be there the next year, and you
Yeah,
know,
no, I've done. I pretty much hunt by myself, um, and I'm not one like for camp. People say you need to go to camp and hunt. That's the enjoyment of it. I'm
yeah,
but self sufficient. Uh,
yeah, me too. Yes,
you know,
yeah,
um, and I like the solitaire. I like to hunt with some people. I got some good friends.
yeah,
We talk a lot and stuff, and I talk to you, but I don't. I pretty much hunt, and I kind of keep everything quiet. I mean, I don't
yeah,
tell everybody where I'm at, what I'm doing,
yeah,
and you'll see the most successful deer hunters are solo hunters.
yeah. They are.
Oh, hmm.
Yep,
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
and like I said, I'm going to work hard at it, and I've got some more projects. I've got on property. I want to put in a water hole. I've been wanting to do that for years. I've never thought about it much, but I've been looking at videos and stuff and watching about
Yeah,
people have good success with it.
yeah,
If nothing else, just like we talk about trail cameras, just to put a trail camera on that.
yeah,
And then, like I think access is very important. Getting in and out quickly, and you can hunt a stand a whole lot of times. Like people say, you don't hunt it much, you'll burn it out. If you can hunt it without the deer knowing you're hunting it, you can hunt it for a lot.
oh yeah, yeah. You can. Yeah,
If they don't
if you
know you're
got a
there, you
yeah,
know.
if you got a bulletproof access where you're getting in, I love going across creeks and stuff like that. Because
Oh,
if I can go across a creek with a pair of rubber boots on, and
mhm.
I get on the other side and I'm not handling stuff with my hands and sweating on it, I feel comfortable going back and hunting that just
Oh,
until I start spooking deer. You know what
yeah.
I
And then
mean?
you got your history. That the rut's the most important thing in history because those dates are just automatic. Even though I didn't kill one on the 9th, 10th, and 11th where I normally do, I seen deer.
Yeah,
I just didn't see one. But I did kill the one on Thanksgiving week up in the bluffs on the mountain that I hunt. It's almost every year. And this time it was November 28th. So it's within that week period.
Yeah.
And I would say even hunting those spots when the sign's not even that great. I think the bucks come in there looking for those doe groups every year at that. And, other than that, now early season, it's all about the sign. And in late season, it's all about the sign. It's always all about the food.
Yeah, it is.
But I want to have more food on our private property, the place. I want to have a late season. I'm going to try some different things and see if I can get a late season food source going. Because usually our food runs out mid-December.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of dry,
That's what I'm seeing here too. And I want that flexibility because, I've had good success running trail cameras on mock scrapes or just finding good sign and putting a camera on it on public. But there's a lot of times I'm looking at it and I thought, man, if you could put a food source within this little area and that this is where they're staying at, maybe you can't get in there without busting them out. But if you can get a food source, something to draw them in besides a scrape right here, you could do some damage. And that's kind of what I want to do with some of these private properties. If I can get permission somewhere, is just not just put a feeder out in the middle of a field, you know what I mean? Like just go find where the deer are at already and then put something there to draw them in.
Yeah, put something there put a little small hidey-hole food plot. It don't have to be just where there's some sun.
Yeah, I would love to do something like that and just be able to
more food
if they'll let you.
Yeah, if they'll let
just
you.
Make a little deer sanctuary. But kind of with the public land part of it, with private too. But to me, what I'm realizing is if you're not doing stuff like that, you're kind of out of the game the whole rest of the season, except for the rut, unless you get fortunate and you got a really good acorn crop.
Yeah,
or
a lot of people
you can peg them on a good food source somewhere.
I got my friends just really hunt the rut. That's basically all they hunt, and I know deer. That's the best time to hunt, I would say. But I enjoy hunting the early season a whole lot. September, even though I enjoy that time period.
Yeah, I do too. If it's open, it's legal to go hunting, I want to go. I don't care what they're doing. I want to go hunt.
And I'll figure it out. Like I say, early season's all about acorns. When them first hard mass hit, you can forget anything else that's on, which we didn't have this year. So then you have to adapt. You got to adapt to browse or travel corridors or something going. I wound up killing the two does. They was a chestnut oak just started dropping. It probably didn't have 30 acorns on it. They were on the ground, but they just hit the ground, and I saw where they were feeding. I hunted immediately, that day, and killed. And I saw about 6 does come in and fed on it, and I killed one of those.
Oh.
Of course, I went back 2 or 3 days later, and it was dry. They're gone.
Yeah, they're done with it at that point.
And
so you killed the one in October. You're talking about those 4 bucks running together, which is food source, Like you said, we didn't have a good acorn crop this year, and they were on that ryegrass you were talking about. That
I think so. It's red.
They're not going to eat it, but they are eating it.
The ryegrass they spray on the banks to keep it from washing. That kind of rye.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a green. It's a forb.
They were eating.
But so you killed that one early, bachelor group. And then you killed your rut time frame buck. On the bluff, right?
Yeah, he was by November 20th, completely by himself. That's the only deer I saw.
And the last one you killed, what'd you say? It was two small does. It was
two
there
small
when you got there. Do you think he was kind of like tail end of the rut or second rut when you killed him?
December 12th, they were there, and I'm almost positive. I didn't actually witness him running after them, but he came right where they were. So he was looking for them, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, he probably was.
And then
you kind of just more or less been an opportunist this year. Worked out really good.
Pretty much, yeah. The October one surprised me because I went in there to scout that evening because there's a big white oak and it gets a lot of sun. And I thought, any tree in the county that's going to have any acorns on it, that's going to be the one. But when I got there, and they were right there where I need to walk. I need to walk right in front of him. I didn't. I just backed up.
Yeah.
I got to get, I ain't going to spook them off. I'm going to let them do their thing. They might come back. Well, I had to work the next day. So the next day was Friday. And I went in there at 4 o'clock. Like I say, the sun was bright and shiny, mosquitoes. It was hot. And I had walked there the first time and got set up against a tree, and right at dark, here they come. They were going that same pattern. They were on
Yeah.
they were on a food cover pattern. Yeah,
Yep.
it was almost like a late summer pattern,
Yeah.
but it
It
was
sounded
October.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah. You said that. I've seen. They wasn't all big, but there was two shooters and then two younger bucks, like probably a year and a half, or one of them I've been 2.5. But there was two shooters, and they were on public, in a green field like that, a little bitty small green field that was like right off the road, and just by chance nobody had paid attention to it.
yeah,
You know, and my dad he was hunting out there past it, like down in way off down in the mountain. You know how he is. He's like me. He wants to walk 3 miles to get
yeah,
somewhere to hunt. But he was walking through it, and he'd mentioned spooking some bucks out of it. And then I was off work that day, and I thought, well, heck, I'm gonna go up there and scout. I don't have anywhere to hunt, so I'm just gonna wait around and get some breakfast, and I'm gonna go up there and scout around this field and see if I can figure out what these deer are doing. And I got up there around that field, and it was tore up with sign.
really.
I mean, yeah, mountain azaleas rubbed like crazy. Little cedar trees, pine trees. I mean, there's probably 75 rubs around this little small field, and it was so much sign that you couldn't really tell which direction they were coming from. Like the only thing I had to go off of was there was a couple of real heavy trails where there's some rubs on them, and then they kind of turned into one trail about 20 yards from the edge of the field, and went out in the field, and there was a scrape right there, and the scrape was fresh. So, at least if I sit here, at least I'll see them. You know what I mean? They got to come in here, and I had a good wind. Wind blowing back to the truck. So I set up, had a climber that evening, and the first time I hunted it, those bucks came in there. And there was two bucks that were probably like 115, 120 inch deer, big bucks.
Yeah,
Like 3, 4 year old deer. Come in there like 45 minutes, an hour before dark on that field. And it was too far to shoot with a bow, but I got to watch them for a long time. And this was late, like you're talking about. This is probably like October the 18th, 20th. And I'm like, it's unusual to see
yeah.
them that late still stuck together. But they were just, like you said, on a food to bed pattern. And then that year, that was a pretty sorry year for acorns too. I mean,
Yeah.
I know later in the season I was trying to hunt acorns and not doing very well. I think it was the year I killed that one actually.
Yeah.
But the only acorns we had late were like red oak acorns.
Yeah.
So I was just, finding doe sign on red oak acorns and
Right.
ended up, getting on that one. But
Right.
just weird stuff. Like they're completely controlled by their stomach.
Oh, yeah. That's it. I mean, even during the rut, I mean, the does and all is going to eat. The buck's going to eat less, but the
Yeah.
doe, I still try to hunt near food.
Yeah.
The mountain this year, I was above food, but I wasn't right on it this time in
Yeah.
November.
There was one place I went, I was kicking myself in the butt over that, is I was going way up the mountain to hunt, and, it was an awful walk getting up there. And I was going to a spot that I knew that they were using. I was getting them on camera, and I was getting them on camera and shooting light when bow season. But I walked past, probably a third of the way up the mountain, a lot of really good feed sign. Like a lot of chestnut oaks, and there was a couple of white oaks that didn't have much, but there was a little bit of white oak dropping. And looking back on it, I should have just sat right there,
Yeah.
because I went way up the mountain where I was getting them on camera
Yeah.
and never seen a buck,
Your dad killed a good buck this year on the
Yeah,
management.
he did. Yeah, he did. He killed a 8 pointer,
Mm-hmm.
pretty close to where I killed that one back there.
It,
Matter of fact, in the area I was telling you about, we had the camera stole.
uh-huh.
He stuck with it. I would have got ticked off, and if I was up there hunting every day, I would probably give up on it, and went somewhere
Yeah.
else. But he stuck with it, and he's seen some folks up there, but it worked out good for him.
He stuck
He
with
knew
it.
where they were going to be at.
Yeah, he's like, if I see people, I'm like, oh, I'm out of here.
Yeah, me too.
Now I
He
got
was
to.
going past them, which that's a big thing too. He was kind of using them to his advantage. He was like, well, they're hunting up here, so I'm going to drop down here where I know I've had good historical sign and I've seen bucks or killed a buck. I'm going to keep hunting down here. I know they're going to be there eventually, and it worked out for him.
That historical sign is just worth money and gold if you can remember it. Or like I kept a journal, and I think I hunted 50 days this year I believe it was 50 days. Now, some of those are 2 hunts a day. November was all the time. I hunted constantly in November.
Yeah.
And I think I can go back and look, and I saw deer probably 35, 40 times out of those 50 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw
That's
a lot
really
of deer.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kind, you know. So it worked as fast. They didn't have much food source, but I saw a lot of deer, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Were they hanging around, or were they kind of like traveling when you
just
seen
traveling,
most of them?
more browsing and traveling, and browsing on leaves and stuff and traveling. Yeah. And I think that's why I killed a buck in October, because the acorns were out. There wasn't any in the woods, so they were just feeding on the ryegrass and bedding right there in that swamp.
Yeah.
Where it
That
actually
works cool.
to not have any. Yeah. On that one. Yeah. Think- When you think about it, now we get ready for turkey season. So I do a lot of public land hunting on the places I got to deer hunt. They don't have many turkeys on them.
Really?
They used to, but not anymore. And so I'm turned into a public land turkey hunter.
Yeah.
Which it's a little better, because especially if you hunt during the week, like on a Friday or something, there's not many people. And after the first 2 weeks, everybody's fishing and stuff. So
Yeah, there really ain't. There's a couple of spots I need to send you on public that you can at least get on a turkey. I'm not good enough to get one
yeah,
in shotgun range most of the time, but somebody like you probably go in there and kill one. But
I
I
don't
know a
know.
couple of places where there's turkeys
Yeah,
every year, just certain spots that they like for whatever reason,
yeah,
and I'm not the only one hunting them, but at least there's a lot of birds there.
yeah. I've seen quite a turkey this year in the field this winter. Places. One of the places I got where I killed that buck in October, it used to be covered in turkey. Man, it's just void now. I mean,
Really?
you can't scrape a turkey up over there. Last year I went and checked. There wasn't nothing.
You need to holler at Dad. He's working for the state now,
Your
part
dad?
time. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. I mean, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I don't know if he asked about it or if they asked him. They were just needing somebody, and he just buddied with all of them or what. I don't know how that worked, but yeah, he ended up getting a part time job with them, just like running equipment and helping
Yeah.
Jonathan, the manager, out.
Uh-huh.
But they were trying to catch some turkeys the other day, trying to net some turkeys. They got some
Okay.
kind of little device that nets them where they can tag them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to holler at him and see what he's finding up there. That's what I told him. I said, you're going to have all the good deer spots by
Yeah.
next year.
Well, we got a source. You'll have to come back up here for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I
We got
told him to keep his eyes peeled for them turkeys. I said, like you said, they're getting a little more few and far between up there.
they're making a little bit of comeback. I'm hoping. I don't think it'll ever be like it was in the '90s, but at least they'll get some back. But still,
There's a
I'm
bunch here. There's a
two birds.
lot here. A lot more here than up there on that mountain. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's different, if it's just a healthier population or what, but you see them everywhere here.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I
Maybe.
just went on National Forest here and got on some birds, and everybody's like, yeah, there's birds there, but you can't get on them. I'm like, well, I come pretty close to killing one. I'm not the best turkey hunter in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you put the time in, you probably kill some birds on this National
Yeah.
Forest.
Well, good deal. But come on back up here, and we'll get your dad to get us on something.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Um, One more thing I was going to ask you about. Oh, the journal. You mentioned that last time we had a podcast.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about you kept a journal for a long time. That inspired me to start doing that.
Really?
Not so much there. Yeah, not so much there, because I mean I grew up there, and I got a lot of spots I'm comfortable with. But here, everything's new to me.
Yeah.
Especially this year. I've been going out and hitting. I've been to 4 different public properties just within driving distance of here, and they're all different. Like, they're all deer doing different things, and so I've been trying to do that and keep a journal, especially during the rut, since I had that encounter with that big buck I was telling you about with my daughter.
Yeah.
I've been
Remember
really writing it down. Yeah.
that date, and when that time rolls around next year, within that week,
Hmm.
on that day, I'd be there. Even if there's not much sign,
That's exactly what I'm thinking too. I mean, there's some weight to that, and
there's a guy on YouTube called Daniel Williams. I think it's Cedar Ridge Chronicles or something on YouTube,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
talks
I've seen
about that
that.
a lot. Uh, historical.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely planning on doing that next year because we're like I got drawn back on one, which is
Hmm.
great, but I found a lot of really good places to hunt, and I just don't have the time to go hunt all of them. But I've at least got some dates where
Yeah.
stuff has happened, and I'm like, okay, well next year
Go
I already
check.
know where I need to be at. You know, there's no
Yeah.
guesswork in trying to find them. Like even if the sign's not there,
Yeah.
I
On
can be
those
in
days.
this area. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I've been keeping it in my phone just to kind of have it with me and have it where like if I'm scrolling through my phone at night, it'll remind me, to stay after it. Just
Hmm.
writing down like the dates that I was there, what the weather was like, and
Yeah.
what the deer were doing, what I was doing,
Yeah.
where I was at, that kind of thing.
Yeah. You can look back, years when you get old, you can look back and say, well, and then you can put a pattern together, like,
Yeah,
man, we here and there for 6, 7 years in a row, you
yeah.
know, same spot. Yeah.
I'm hoping that 4 or 5 years from now I can start kind of piecing the puzzle together and have at least one or two spots where I'm comfortable. I can go
Yeah.
kill a deer every year in it.
Hmm.
'Cause we get
Yeah.
three buck tags down here, and that's you know
You get
like that
three.
one I shot. Yeah, that one I shot the other day. He wasn't a huge deer. He's about like one of these behind me right here. But I mean, I didn't think twice about it when I seen him on camera. I kind of looked at him on my phone and I thought, that's only the second deer I've seen in this spot on camera that I feel like I would even,
Hmm.
you know, think about shooting. I was like, I'm gonna shoot him if he comes over here. So
Yeah.
I made a bunch of noise and there he come.
Oh,
But yeah, there's a lot of game down here. Like I don't know. Yeah, I know this year you had a really good season, but like anytime you feel like you want to come down here and give it a shot, come on. I mean, we'll
I'm going.
load up and go somewhere.
I don't have much longer. I'll retire in less than 2 years.
Yeah,
That's going to free me up if I can stay healthy enough.
yeah,
Get out and do some other things. Right now, I'm just working and going to the places that I know.
yeah,
But that would free me up. That's going to free me up big time.
yeah.
So it'll be on
There,
me.
there's some places south of me that's like the later the better. I mean, the season almost doesn't stay open long
Uh-huh.
enough to catch the rut. Like there's a place down there in Lowndes County, close to where I work at, and it's just flat, swampy. It's like river bottom stuff,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of a lot of cut over, a lot of pines, but then there's a lot of all the hardwoods are thick too, like privets and stuff. And then you got some cattails around the river, and they kill some hammers down there, like late January, early February,
Yeah.
and that's peak rut. So I'm still looking forward to that. I got one spot I scouted in November, like early November,
Uh-huh.
may even been late October. I carried a buddy from work in there because I told him, I said, I don't know nothing about this place and you don't either. So if we find something, we'll just share it.
Uh-huh.
And I haven't been back down there. I went and pulled my camera that I had, but there was a lot of good sign from last year in that spot. So I'm looking forward to that.
Uh-huh.
Maybe just go down there and get lucky, try to read some hot sign and
Yeah.
set up
And
on it.
send them letters out to the private property owners, and heck, you
Yeah,
might be surprised. Some of these people living in town get tired of them eating all their shrubbery and stuff, and they'll take
that's what
both
I'm kind of. Yeah,
heartbeat.
I'm hoping I can find somebody that's got a garden or something, and they're like, yes, please come kill these deer.
Knock on those doors, you can knock on the doors. Sometimes they'll say no, but what I do is I just write my name down and phone number. I always tell them, said,
Yeah,
if I can help you in any way or something changes or if you need something, here I am. And
that's
sometimes
a good.
they'll change their mind. Like later on, we didn't call him. We're getting eat up here,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
that's a good idea. That's a real good
Yeah,
idea.
high percentage success, but you only need like 1% if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, heck, you got a handful of properties, and I mean, you're doing it and have been doing it for a long time like that.
I've
So
lost
there's something
at
to learn there.
least 10 pieces of property that I hunted over the last 10 years, one a year.
Yeah,
And then I gained times. But then I have a couple that are just stable. I mean, those are locked for now.
yeah, those are the good places. Yeah,
So,
they're I don't know, my lifetime. I mean, hunted a little bit of private up there. Hadn't hunted any here, but I don't know. I always kind of got sore about it when you'd lose a spot, you
yeah,
know. And it's like, well, we ain't never going back there. There ain't no sense in asking. Or if they let somebody else hunt, and this is kind of like, well, our
yeah,
time here is done. But you you can't be pessimistic about it.
Sometimes if they let somebody else hunt, they'll hunt opening day, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. And
Yeah,
September and October, when it's 85 degrees, you don't hardly
yeah,
see.
they're
Oh,
yeah probably nowhere to be found.
mm-mm. Especially bow season, you know.
I'm definitely going to do that. I've got permission from one guy that he's a plant manager where I work. He lives same town I live in.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 5 acres that butts up to a big property that looks really good. He ain't hardly got nothing to hunt there, but he gave me permission. I never went over there and scouted it or ran a camera or nothing. You know, I already had some good spots on public I felt good about.
You ought
So
to go over there in February and scout it out pretty good and throw
yeah,
your camera up or something. Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking about doing because he don't care nothing about the deer. You know, he's
Mhm.
like, yeah, come over and kill all you want. You know, so,
There's another little trick too. If you see a for sale sign, like property for sale,
yeah,
sometimes you can contact the owner and they're selling it, so they don't really have a interest in it,
yeah, that's a good point.
and
Yep.
they'll let you. It'll sell right out from under you, but you might for a little while. I've done
Yeah,
that
for 1 year. Yeah, you probably had a
one
good
year.
spot to hunt for
One
one
season.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of good to have all that stuff in your back pocket because you
Uh,
never know. I mean,
it's different what it used to be when I was growing up. Like I say, we was growing up, we just had permission from everybody,
yeah,
and now it's getting harder and harder and harder. And for my grandkids coming up, it's going to be harder and harder for them.
yeah.
And we just have to work at it. There's nothing we can do about it.
No, just have to change what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I still got a little time left here, but I've already, I've felt like I've had some success, even though I hadn't put one on the ground. At least I'm starting to figure it out here. I feel like, and I'm starting to get more comfortable with because it's totally different vegetation here than up there on Pigeon. I mean, I come down here and the first thing I thought was this is ugly. Like it ain't nothing but a bunch of brush and privet and cut
Uh-huh.
over and like I don't where do you even start?
Yeah.
But I'm starting to kind of piece it together and it to me it feels easier than hunting the mountain. Honestly, once you start
You.
to figure it out, like okay, you just
Mhm.
don't overthink it. Go hunt
Yeah.
the edge of that. You're gonna see a deer.
Make it simple and make it fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, up till this morning, I went this morning, didn't see any deer. Now I left early though because wasn't much going on, and
Uh-huh.
we had to do this podcast and stuff. But up until today, I couldn't tell you the last time I went and didn't see a deer
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
like way early in December, probably.
And you're in a brand new spot, so you know.
Nearly every time I go, there's one spot I've been hunting pretty regular, but most of them, it's just first time and the last time, and I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
Nelson, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you probably got stuff to do. I gotta pick some kids up from school in just a minute too.
okay. Well, it's good talking to
Um, you
you.
too, man. I've enjoyed it. We'll have to get back together and get you on there, especially for turkey season. I know you fired
Yeah.
up about that.
Yeah, we got it coming up April the 1st. It used to be March, but now it's April. So
Hey, the last
yeah,
April the 1st, I got to hunt up there. We killed a couple. So
I'll get started scouting on turkey about mid February.
yeah,
So yeah, start
I might
scouting.
get I might get you back on here for that too, because that's something you don't really hear a lot of people talk about is scouting for turkeys.
Yeah,
You know,
we'll do a whole one on turkeys. That'll be
yeah,
good.
I'd be interested in hearing what you got to say about that because I'm kind of drawing a blank on that a lot of times. I go look for scratching or go look for birds in the field, but like and go listen for them. That's about it. And aside from that, I don't know enough to really look for them.
Just scratchings, and you can go. I go a lot, like in the early mornings, and just sit down on the highest part I can get, highest
Yep.
ridge. Just sit down and just listen,
Yeah.
and see if you can pinpoint, and just get out of there.
Yep.
You know.
That's what I used to do that up there. Just go carry a cup of coffee and sit down, or just stand there and if ain't nothing going on. I'll hoot a little bit, see if you can get
Or
one.
pull off the side of the road on property you got permission. I just pull off side of the road and listen. And if I hear
Yep.
one, I just leave. I know, well,
Yeah.
general area. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Well, if I know you got a lot of deer back behind you. That's your trophy room.
Yeah.
Uh,
Got,
a lot of those I've seen those before, but you got any from this year that you want to show everybody?
I hadn't got any, the 3 bucks that I killed this year are all in the freezer.
Are they, you getting any of them mounted?
No, I'm going to do the European mounts on them, the
Okay.
European mounts.
Yeah.
But these are These are some, I don't know if you can see or not. That sun's pretty
Yeah.
bright.
That one, that's the Illinois deer, isn't it? On
That one,
top.
Illinois. This one right here is Walker County. That one.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a good deer.
that's Walker. All those are Walker. That's Walker. Walker.
That's the one in the corner. Is that the county record buck?
That's the 130 3/8. Yeah, that one.
That's the 9-pointer. Yep.
And then
Yeah.
there's that one. And then all them's Walker. This is a Kentucky deer right here in the corner here.
Okay.
Right
I
there.
didn't know you had that one. I don't know if I've
Yeah.
seen that one.
2000 and let's see. Can you see it pretty good?
Yeah, it looks like he's got some good mass on him.
That's 2010. And this one here is like in the 80s right there. In Walker.
Yeah.
Yep. The turkey over there. And we come around here. Got the beards
They
here.
get you a bigger trophy room. You know
I think
what?
75 beards here, I believe. Across there over the years.
Yeah.
And then got these two European mounts there. And I've got a bunch in the freezer that I hadn't had mounted or that hadn't had nothing done with them.
You got a bunch in the shed too, don't you?
This is the one I killed. This buck here, right here,
Yeah.
is killed in November on Thanksgiving Day when I was talking to you about it on the last one when it was so hot. And that one.
I got you. Yeah, on the last podcast.
Yeah, I killed that deer about 10 yards away from the ground.
That's a good deer.
Yeah, that right there. And I didn't find any rubs much in there. I don't think he could rub a tree. See?
Yeah, the way his rack comes together.
Uh-huh.
That's
And
the way this one back behind me is. He kind of got a full circle rack almost.
Talk about history. That one was killed in November the 26th, this one. And this one was November 28th, like 3 years apart in the same place.
Wow.
So those there.
So anybody that discredits that, I'm telling you, there's something to it. I mean,
yeah, there's something
you ain't the only person that says that, but there's definitely something to those historical dates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Look up at Daniel Williams on the YouTube. He talks about that a lot.
Yeah, I'll look him up. Yeah,
it's called Cedar Ridge something.
Yeah, Cedar Ridge Whitetail or Cedar Ridge Chronicles. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it.
And he's from
before on Instagram or something.
Well, he's in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So but I'd been doing that before he was probably born. History.
Yeah. You're going to have to get you a bigger trophy room before it's over with.
Yeah, I've got a bunch.
Out of space.
I've probably got 20 in the freezer.
Hopefully some of these guys out here listening to this thing will kind of use you as an example. Hopefully they can be like that one day. I hope I am. Hope I can get good enough that I can have 70 deer racks in my shed. Well, Nelson, I appreciate you coming on today. I'll go ahead and share your social media again. And like I said, this will be a video podcast so everybody can kind of get a look at some of your deer racks and stuff. But it's good talking to you, man. Keep in touch.